Good morning, cryptocurrency traders. So, yeah, Bitcoin and Ether, for that matter, are getting a bit of a hiding at the moment. Um, and I'm still of the opinion that it's more of a knee-jerk reaction than anything else. So I suppose time will tell whether I'm right or wrong. But this level that I highlighted was pretty much broken yesterday, and we headed for the next level. So I suspect, there's going to be some buyers coming in soon, because this is at a really good discounted price at this stage. But the question is, where and when are they going to step in? If I look at Ichimoku, we do have some bearish signals on the weekly. So we've got a cross, we've got price coming through. We've got Chico span coming through price. We had a death cross here of Kijinsen and Tikinson, but look at what's happening. Kijinsen is just staying flat, and Tikinsen's running down. So when you see this, be warned, something is going to happen, because these two like to run next to each other like this. So Kijin and Tikinson, they love running next to each other. You can see when they run next to each other, everybody's happy. When they're far apart, things are starting to go haywire. So does it mean more downside? In my view, it's probably more a case of finding its feet somewhere and then moving to the upside. So price break through here and try and come in to test this level here. Anyway, let's just get down to the lower time frame so we can just see what the situation is here. Okay, so we did get a break of this level. Okay, we had a close. We had a daily close below this level, but this level is still intact. Okay. I'm not an area to get long just yet. We do have an inside bar forming, which is pretty bullish, okay? But obviously I'd need a little bit more confirmation than just one bar. So for me, it's still sit, wait, and see what happens. I just want to come down to the 4 hour so we can see what's physically going on here. Okie dokie. So what you see here is a pretty much what we refer to as a final flag in price action. Okay, so oops, there is the downward trend line. Okay, and we're going to put another one in here which runs like that. Okay, I can run it like that. If you probably a better bet to run it like that, because that was the original view. So what is this telling me? Basically, we have a falling wedge. We popped out to the bottom side of the original wedge, which would have been this line here, and we got a rejection bar formed on it, right? This pin bar. Let's zoom in a bit. Okay, so there was my original downward trend line. Okay, we popped below it, rejection bar off it. So commonly that's called overthrows inside the wedge. Okay, then we accelerated up. So in other words, what happened here was the bears were in control of this bar. Then the bulls stepped in, took control. They took control of the next bar, and they took control of the third bar. So the bears are currently not in control of this move. The bulls are, I won't say firmly in control, but they are definitely in control of this move. The next step for them is to break this wedge, probably come back and retest it. And you can see it lines up pretty nicely with the level. This blue line is the level to the left. Okay, there it is there. So what you can expect to happen here is I would expect this wedge to play out. The wedge target will be the top here, and then we should move. We should be kind of a move up, move down. Okay, now what am I looking for? I'm looking for Tikinson, the red line, to flatten out and start running horizontal. Then I'm looking for Kijinsen to turn. Okay, and I'm also looking for price to break these 4 hour fractals. So this 4 hour fractal here will definitely be an area of interest for me. Let's put a line in here, there. So a break above this, a 4 hour close above this level will be a pretty interesting area for me anyway. Okay, so this is starting to look like some reversal patterns forming. But because I want to swing trade this, and I'm not really interested in scalping it over a day trade, we'll wait for the setup to appear. At this stage, it is brewing. It's definitely brewing on Bitcoin. What I don't like is the fact that Kijun and Tikun are still running to the downside. So this is still indicating a very strong downward trend. Okay, but these last 3 bars is giving us an indication that things are about to change. Okay, and it looks a lot stronger than this potential reversal pattern that was forming here. Okay, so that's kind of for me on Bitcoin, and I just want to drill down on the hour, because this is where you will see, you see I can tidy that up to there. So you can see that's pretty much been a decent break, and we haven't broken this 1 hour fractal, but it is looking promising, and you can see how Kijun and Tikun are now running together. Okay, so it's kind of the price action that you can expect is probably a bit more upside, hit the underside of the cloud, bounce off, Kijun and Tikun crossover, start pointing to the upside. You can see the awesome oscillator starting to point up, and we do have diversions here. You can see there's a low for the awesome oscillator, there's a higher low, whereas price is making lower lows. So there's a lot of indication here that this is a reversal pattern forming. But I just want it to appear on the 4 hour. That's basically what I'm looking for. So on the 1 hour, there is definitely merit to take a long on the retest of Kijun. So if we can get back to retest this area, because it'll be retest the break and Kijun, would be a pretty interesting area to be long with your stop below one of these fractals, either that one, or this one. Okay, so that's kind of the setup that's brewing at the moment, looking very promising. If we just get across to Ether, now I have a fairly large portfolio of cryptocurrencies, but specifically the alternate cryptocurrencies, and yeah, I'm getting hammered at the moment. Some of them are down 40-50%, which is not a very nice feeling. But anyway, I still believe that we're going to find our feet and we're going to start moving. So let's just have a look at Ether. So the weekly, we're on the weekly, yeah. So the weekly view on Ether right now, this is not a pretty picture, okay, not at all. So we had a nice doji here, but we didn't break the upside and continue, and now we have accelerated to the downside. So not a pretty picture, and I pretty much see that in my portfolio, but it's still no reason to panic. Okay, so what have we had here? We've had, you can see we've got diversions on the awesome oscillator on the 4 hour, and no, on the daily. So we've got daily diversions here, and we've got a lower low here. So we did come back down, we broke this level, and I have no idea what level it actually aimed for. Okay, there it is there. So if you watch my other videos, you'll notice that I always look for the closest tail, so the inside tail. Now if you look in here, just add another tail here for you. So over here is an inside tail. There is an inside tail. Okay, so it's a level. So the theory behind it is there's a reason why the buyer stepped in here. Okay, so obviously that is a level. There's a reason why the buyer stepped in at that exact point. So obviously it is a level. Okay, so if you just draw your support and resistance lines on those tails, you will pretty much have your major levels covered. Okay, so that's just really the theory behind it. And you can see this one wasn't hit, but this one was definitely hit. And the size of this pin bar is indicated as quite a critical level. So clearly that's where we are at the moment. let's just get down to the 4 hour, just see whether we have anything happening here. Okay, so not as clear cut as what we have on Bitcoin. So we do have a little trend line break here. Okay, and if I really want to, I can find a wedge, but to be quite frank, I don't think that's worthy of a wedge. That may be a small little wedge, 1, 2, 3. It's only 3 touches, so could be, but nothing to write home about. So for me, this 4 hour fractal is still the key level. Okay, so what may happen is we may rise, bounce off Kijun system here, and come down, form another 4 hour fractal, and then that will be the fractal that I need to aim for. Yeah, but for now, this is really still in my hands. Let's just check the 1 hour. Okay, so the 1 hour is a little bit more, well, actually a lot more bullish. Okay, so we've had a crossover. We've had price get through Kijunsen. So Kijunsen and Tikinson have crossed over. We've got price come through. And that's the only bullish signal that we have now. We are bouncing off a level, but what I would expect us to do, and we have broken a fractal. You can see we've broken this fractal here. So I'd like to see whether this break holds. If we can stay above this level here, then there's merit for taking a long and keeping my stops close in this area. But ideally, I'm looking for the 4 hour to play out. It just gives me better confirmation, okay? Because what I'm looking for is to get in for a longer term ride rather than a short term scalp. So the 1 hour is starting to look pretty bullish, so it's pretty similar to Bitcoin. But I'm still looking for some decent confirmation, okay? And ideally what you want to be is you want price above the clouds, you want Chico span above price and above cloud, and you want Kijun Tikinson pointing straight up. That's the ideal scenario, but whether we get that's another story. Okay, so I'm still of the opinion that the news on the hack is pretty much a knee-jerk reaction, okay? And I suspect we're going to start finding our feet pretty soon for a move to the upside. Okay, so yeah, so for me, I'm personally still sitting and waiting, wait for the 4 hour to play out before I start making my move. And yeah, what you might find is a move may happen over the weekend. That's typically what happens. So if you are going to trade the 1 hour, just keep those stops tight. There is merit to start nibbling at longs on the 1 hour. But for me, the 4 hour is the one that we need to follow. Anyway, guys, keep those stops tight, stay safe, and I'll catch up with you guys tomorrow. Cheers, man.